Today we have for you all another Chris Watts episode, and it is a really good one, okay?
Nice.
We're going to be talking about Dylan Tallman, who was in prison with Chris and talked to Chris and got a lot of scoop.
Okay.
Let's talk about it. Is it truthful? Is it not?
Yes,
We'll find out.
Let's just get started.
All right, let's go right now.
Now here are today's shout outs. How would you like to have a shout out in our future video? The only thing you have to do is add a comment in this video with the hashtag word we'll provide you later. How easy is that? Now, you ready for today's episode? See you in the studio.
Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're new, we'd like to introduce ourselves.
Hey, it's your girl, Shirok.
And people call me Eju, or you can call me Ed. And today we are going to talk about Chris Watts and what his one of the guys he was in prison with. He wrote a book and he tells all about stuff that's going on with NK. But before we get into all that good stuff,
this is for education, entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research and always be kind to everyone, friends, family, strangers.
Everyone, thank you. And you know what? Today, did Chris turn on NK? So if we are to believe what Dylan Tallman is his name said, let me get into the book covers here. It looks like it's going to be a multiple series here. I don't know if there's going to be part 3 or part 4. Didn't get to it yet. But based on this, if everything or some of the things he said in here, it definitely points out that NK was involved at some level. Okay. So what I'm going to do right now is let me set this up for going through this. I'm going to read right through it. We're going to have some questions as we go along. I want to get your opinion, Shirok, of what you think on this.
Yeah, this is interesting.
So let's start. Let's get in some excerpts. Now, some of these I was able to get a screenshot of, and some of these I typed out. So bear with me if I made any mistakes here, but let's get started. So slide number 1. Okay, let's get into it. So there's a conversation back and forth. This is Dylan. He had multiple conversations at different points of time with Chris, and I just took some of the conversation. Okay, Shirok. So he goes, anyway, I told my mistress what had happened, and she told me how to hide my wife's body. She said to bring the girls with. I was just on autopilot, like in shock. So I grabbed my younger daughter out of bed. She was asleep. My older daughter was awake and asking about her mom. I told her that she was in a deep sleep and Daddy was going to get her some help to wake her. Before we left, I had to check in with, and we'll get into that next part. But so this is Chris Watts talking. Okay, this conversation between them two. So this is what Chris is saying. Okay, so if true, how did Chris communicate with NK? Through an application or a phone? Is there any record of this? Because I had some of the phone records of NK. Maybe there was a different phone that I'm not aware of.
Yeah.
I know they had talked like at night before Shanann came home. But what is this? I told my mistress what had happened. She told me to hide. So maybe this is text messages. Again, we don't know because they did so many, like NK and Chris wiped their phones and did a few things. We don't know if there was another application that they were hiding. But I thought that was interesting. Like, when did you have this conversation and what method? So that was really interesting. So I wonder how true is that?
Exactly.
Let's see what you guys think. All right. Let's go on to the next one. I can't argue with the word. Look, I can't remember a lot. This is what Chris is talking. I didn't intend to kill my wife. It wasn't my goal, as everyone thinks. Yeah, we fought over money and small things, but we loved each other. I used to be a pushover with no backbone. I never meant to kill my wife. She attacked me. He paused. I asked, what do you think made her attack you? She found out about the mistress, and she tracked my spending. I don't know if she was more mad about the money or the affair. However, she was upset. She was going to kill me. My older daughter woke up and was asking about her mom. I told her to get her sister and that mommy was in a deep sleep. We needed to get her some help. Like I was telling you last time, bro, I was numb. I was on autopilot. I just lost the love of my wife, and I was in love with Nicole at the same time, he explained. So let me let me pause there, Shirak. Here we go. Yeah, let's go back to this part, to the screen. So what's interesting is, okay, I could see Shanann getting upset and like going to smack him, but to feel like she was gonna kill you
me.
with what? A gun? She was pregnant. She was what 8 months or whatever pregnant. She's gonna overpower you, bro. I'll use bro. She's gonna overpower you. I just don't buy that.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm kind of ruining this a little bit, Shrock, because I'm kind of mentioning some of my final thought comments, but come on. You have this other guy talking to you in prison. You don't think he's going to write a book? They probably even talked about it. Hey, why don't you just give me some good stuff in it, and then I'll make it look like, you were a good guy. They probably talked about this. Come on. You think he had no clue this guy was asking these questions and wouldn't get out and write a book? And I just don't buy it. Maybe
I don't buy it either.
What do you think? I want your thoughts.
So first of all, Chris, right, himself, he can actually write a book on this. Like, why is he giving it to this person? The way I see it.
Right.
If I'm in jail, and of course with the same situation, hey, I am going to write a book because I want the proceeds. I am not trying to give somebody else this information.
So here's the thing. That's a great observation, but now I'm going to throw it back around. People know that he's a liar. Maybe he's thinking if it's from a third person and the third person's getting information, it's going to seem more authentic and he's going to be put into a better life. Like, oh, I was just defending myself. Oh, I was going through all this stuff. So it's like a two-way street. Bro, I'll give you money. I'll have you write this book. I'll give you some of my truth to this. But at the same time, you got to put things in,
Okay, so this guy's behind jail too, right?
Yeah, I was. I don't even know. I should have looked this up. My bad.
Exactly. So we have to know his credibility,
Yeah,
correct?
wow.
If I want somebody to write a book, trust me, I would be like, hey, Dr. Oz, come down here. He's more credible. We know who he is.
Oprah,
I have no
come on
idea.
down.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oprah,
I know.
come on, let's do this.
I know.
That is the me. Nah, this guy's a nobody. I'm sorry. I didn't even.
Yeah, I know. But so here, you bring up. Yeah, I agree with you. So, but it's interesting because even if 10% of this is true, it still implicates NK. I know I'm jumping ahead here, but in my opinion, do your own research. Allegedly. Yeah, you saw those keywords.
Yes, allegedly.
All right. Let me continue on. He goes, it made me think he is not a career criminal. This is Dylan talking. He is not a criminal mastermind. He wouldn't know what to do in a situation like this at all. Let me pause. I know I'm pausing. But let me pause there. The dude said on Friday, oh, don't worry about it. I'm going to go to Survey 319. He was to say he's not a criminal mastermind. See, this is to me, smells a little bit of BS.
Yes.
Somebody had to have helped you because you wouldn't have known what to do in your own family, I told him. Look, it's hard to explain. This is Chris talking. I went to work at the normal time. The neighbor's camera saw this. I confessed already. So what good is this going to do? He pointed out, meaning Chris. And then Dylan says, you're like a brother to me. I'm not going to judge you. I just think you were full of S when you ducked my question the way you did. I dug. So I guess he's trying to get more out of him. But that whole career criminal thing, that's just him smooth talking, or maybe, again, the whole book trying to point Chris in a lighter way. Yeah, he may not be a career criminal, but doesn't mean he thought this out and was going to do it. All right. So this is Chris. I was pondering on it, but losing my wife, it made me feel doomed, alone, especially the thought of losing my mistress too. So I met up with her where we were supposed to rendezvous on my way to work, he explained. A CO was doing their round, which is why we stopped the conversation. Damn, He's saying that she was part of this. I had a feeling she was involved, meaning NK. Go ahead, bro. Continue, I insisted. Nicole was calm about the whole situation. She told me to just go to work like I was supposed to. And she asked me about the girls, he explained. She asked you about the girls, I asked him. So let's pause there. Sorry. We got to take some breaks to talk about this stuff because it's too good. So do you believe this? That he had not pre-planned the thought? And also, too, now we did a couple episodes, and there's so many episodes I want to link to the end, but I can only link so many episodes. But there's one we did of, where she traveled in the morning, and there was one where she
Yes.
went that way in the morning, and
Because
people said, "Oh, maybe she just did the way to work." Well, if this is to be true, that she stopped by or was going to help him or whatever, it would show that she did go by the house or was meeting up with him somewhere.
right.
If we believe this, again, it's very hard because, through this, there's probably some truth and some exaggeration. But and again, these conversations, they're not all one conversations. If you can tell, they're different at different points in time. We're just trying to get to the meat of this stuff. So again, I felt alone, especially the thought of losing my mistress too. So I met up with her where we were supposed to rendezvous on my way to work. So this makes no sense in a way because he's talking about how he talked with him, and you will see later there's almost like they're in person, and then he's saying on the way to work, but it wouldn't be on the way to work. He would have the girls. Some of the stuff doesn't completely make sense.
Right.
Guys, let me know. What I'm trying to say is that if he was that morning meeting up with her on the way to work, wouldn't he have the girls and his wife already in the truck that morning? I don't know. We'll see. What's next? Let's see what the next point of conversation. This one I typed out. I have to ask you, and I won't judge. Did you kill the girls? Yes or no? He went silent, meaning Chris. The silence was thick in the air. It was a deafening silence. I should have cast myself in the grave that was dug for them, Chris responded. Yeah. See, again, little pointing to him trying to be like empathetic, whatever. I decided to ask him the same question from a different angle. Did you have help with the girls? He took a long, deep breath and seemed to hold it. Yes, I did, he admitted. Jezebel, I asked. Yes, Chris answered. I should have pulled up Jezebel and the whole story in the Bible. You have to go look it up. But basically, to make a long story short, what he's trying to say here is Jezebel equals NK. So when he mentions Jezebel, it's you have to go look at the story in the Bible because I won't do it justice. But being the adulteress, etc. So he's referring to Jezebel as just a code word or name for Nicole Kessinger, NK. Okay, moving on. My wife would have killed me, dude, and a lot of responsibility with them, he said. It sounds like you were doing too much work and taking care of the kids, I said to Chris. So see how, again, going back and puffing up Chris, I think this was a two-way deal. Hey, dude, write a book, maybe sound not as bad as I was, and I'll give you some stuff on NK on Nicole Kessinger. That way it doesn't look like it comes from me. When I came home from work, I would make food for them, play with them, bathe them, read them a bedtime story, and put them to bed. I did a lot with them some days, he expounded. He truly sounded like the perfect father, the perfect husband. Oh, I'm getting sick. I want to throw up.
Perfect.
I mean, we know that Chris, before all this, he seemed from the videos and stuff to be a good father, but a good father wouldn't murder his kids under any circumstance.
Tell me about it.
We've been through this a lot already, and I just want to throw up. So do you think Chris knew he was writing a book so they would put this in to make Chris look like a nice guy? I think so. I think it was. I know I mentioned this already. I'm jumping ahead, but I'm talking too much. Shrak, what do you think? What's your thought?
So it says here to make Chris like a nice. Some people already think Chris is a nice guy, by the way, because of course, we had that conversation with him with the letters. A lot of them was like, "Oh, we believe you didn't do it." So nice guy or not, he's still gonna do his time. right?
Yeah.
So what is beneficial of him writing this? This is what I'm saying. And you said the guy named you mentioned
Dylan?
Dylan. Dylan is just a hustler, and that's what this all boils down to. He's like,
Woo!
I'm a hustler. I'm gonna see if I can get some money and this and
Oh,
that.
sorry, that was awesome. That was a
He is.
great word to describe that.
He is. So
Yeah,
basically, yeah, Dylan is good job, Dylan. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, he's making his money, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna move on because I can stay here all day on this stuff. But all right. So he says to Chris, "Get off your chest, brother." I said, allowing him to tell me more of his story. Nicole kept saying not to go to the police, not yet, and to lay low. She told me she would marry me. We would sell the house and everything and move. I told her that my older daughter saw enough to incriminate us or incriminate me. I told her that my wife's body was still in the house. She held me tight. See, this is, she held me tight, told me not to worry. She said she would send someone to get in and bring it to work, like nothing happened. She held me and told me that it would just, and I'll go on to the next paragraph. Let's pause here. So is Chris saying she was there that morning? What do you mean? Like, what does it say? She held me tight and was just saying about he made the murders, like he just did the murders, and then she's saying, "Oh, she held me tight." So it had to be after the 111-minute phone call, after Shanann got home, sometime between then and when he went to Survey 3. It could have been at Survey 319 too. I don't know, but she held me tight. Shrek, what do you think?
I think it's BS.
Something is weird here.
Yeah, it's just.
And then, God, you finish your
No,
thought.
go ahead. It just doesn't really all make sense. And it'll be great if Dylan just will have more of a tracking of a timeline on this. Would be
I
like,
know.
okay, so this will so it could
He
be a little
doesn't
bit more
think like
believable
that.
to me and to anyone else. It's like,
yeah.
oh, okay, that makes sense because if she did it, at so okay, that could have happened. Well,
Right. It should be like, okay, dude, walk me through that
exactly
night.
that night.
Walk me
What
through.
happened at this time? Where were you? Where
Yeah.
is okay? So where all this is taking place?
You probably
You held me where? Where were we? We were in the bathroom, or we were at service 319. Where were we?
Let's be
And
real.
what time and date? I need timestamps on these things.
Well,
so.
that would be efficient. Number one, he probably didn't think like that, but somebody's helping write the book. It's probably so they could write more series. This is already part 2. It's probably by putting everything in all this discombobulated way. It's more sensational as opposed to if you're right to the point. This is what happened. Chris told me that, okay, after that 11-minute phone call, they were planning it out on, blah, 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 blah. But you notice here also, she said, meaning NK, she would send somebody to get in and bring it to work. Is that her friend? I forgot this guy's name. Jim, remember? Jim has nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
That's another little thing. This is crazy, isn't it? All right. She held me again. She held him again. She held me and told me that it would just be the two of us. She kissed me and made me feel like I couldn't lose her. I would do anything for her. This is what I meant when I told you that she made me choose between my family and her. The girls was left of my family, so I chose her, meaning NK, he confessed. So who killed the girls, I asked. I told you it wasn't my hand doing it. I can't remember what. It was like I was possessed. I saw myself doing it, but it was like it wasn't me. Though I was numb and on autopilot, I couldn't hurt them, so I stopped them from breathing.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, like, what he means there is instead of, like, God forbid, taking a hammer or, something else, he just, like, smothered them, basically. And it's not really clear about the NK portion on this particular part. So, again, because these are all multiple conversations, it's kind of hard. I like what you're saying. I just think he's trying to sell more books, and that's why he doesn't have a definitive X, Y, and Z. That's just my thing. But anyhow, if you guys like this so far, you like when we do these episodes, please subscribe, like, comment. That really helps us. Yes, we do have some memberships out there if you're interested in. Right now, we're doing live streams about once a month. We'll do more as time goes on. We get more people, but we do have some loyalty badges and emojis, and you get the episodes early.
Thank you,
You just want to
guys.
support us, or if you want to go to the next tier, not only we'll do regular shout outs, but we'll post a lot of things just for the members. You get to know a lot more behind the scenes than just a regular subscriber. So just a little quick there, and we appreciate you guys
Yeah, we
very
appreciate you
much.
guys. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. We're getting down to the last few things. She helped you with your wife's body, I questioned. I really don't want to take anyone down with me. I didn't. I spelled that wrong. Sorry, guys. Um, I do want to take. So I forgot what I was supposed to type there. So that's my typing error. Chris responded. She captivated me with her words, smooth words, dripping honey, and Proverbs 5, 3 through 5, which I'll explain what that means. She sold me dream and brought me a nightmare. It should be sold me dreams and brought me a nightmare, or sold me a dream, I should say, and brought me a nightmare. Sorry, guys. I don't know why this paragraph, when I proofread it, I didn't really catch that. She only helped me with the order to kill. As far as hiding him, she helped me. So, let me tell you what Proverbs 3 through 5 means first.
Yeah.
So this is the New International Version of the Bible. For the lips of the adulterous woman drip honey, and her speech is smoother than oil. But in the end, she is a bitter as gall, sharp as a double-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Her steps lead straight to the grave.
Mm.
So, Shirak, do you believe what Chris is saying here? NK helped? What do you think?
So first of all, is NK in jail right now?
Nope.
Okay, so that answers that. So it doesn't matter like what this says. NK is still not going to get arrested. If NK is going to get arrested from what is said here, then this can play a great role. But if nothing is happening and he's just saying these words, to me, they're just words.
Yeah, I'm assuming. Well, first off, the DA would have to
In some
find these
investigation.
books and would have to, or peer or pressure from the outside would have to have them reopen this case.
Mhm.
If someone is saying now they're a witness to these statements, I mean, it could be enough. And then if they interview Chris and Chris confirms these statements, maybe it can go further. I don't know. But yeah, she's not in jail now.
Exactly.
But he's saying clearly that NK helped him with the order to kill and hiding them. Again, this is to your point. It's not really clear, those questions. It was all he's saying is some generic stuff. Well, how did she help you?
Hmm.
What do you mean the order to kill? You just said before that it was between, she made it clear it's her family or her. How is that an order to kill? It was in your mind. See, now he's trying to put blame on NK. And I'm not saying he shouldn't. I'm just saying for the order to kill, you made that decision. She didn't put the gun, she didn't, like, I don't know. You could still say no, just because you said, okay, it's me or the family, and you felt that you gave the order to kill. She didn't give the order to kill. I mean, and even if she gave the order to kill, you followed it. And the whole thing's a mess.
And I get that sometimes, you so much you in love and you're willing to, like he says, was doing anything to make NK happy. And, unfortunately, who got the bad end of the stick was
Yeah,
Chris, so it's just like, okay, you made her happy, but where are you right now?
I
While
know.
you're together?
He decided everything for himself. Yes, she played a part because obviously played a part for helping and or
Mhm.
seeming allegedly through this books. But what I'm saying, she sold me a dream and brought me a nightmare. So now he's putting his blame on
Mhm.
everybody but himself. He goes back and says, "Oh, I should have done this." But then he starts throwing it on other people here.
Mhm.
And then it says, "You need to start guarding your heart because that is way overboard," Dylan said. What she did what did she do when you got arrested? I asked Chris. She pretended to be clueless, he said with a sigh. Where is she now? She don't give a F about you. As soon as you got caught up, she bailed. Where is she now? I pushed for an answer. Nobody has heard from her or of her, he said flatly, meaning Chris. She is in hiding in case she ends up incriminated in this mess, I informed him. All he managed to say was, yeah. So, yeah,
So,
it goes back to what you said. She's still out there free.
and also, with dealing with the book, so I just did a little bit, and the book sales is not really doing so good on his book. So I don't know. He needs to actually
Yeah,
do a little better job because he's not
people
selling a
know.
lot of.
I think they should have listened to you. If he just came out with one, instead of being greedy and doing these series, which I think is a bunch of BS
Mhm.
for the first place, that's when you're really trying to draw out money.
But
Right? You're trying people pay more. If he came out with one book that was really a knockout, it would sell more than these stupid series.
Exactly, but he would have did a good job since he has a little bit of, if he would have recorded that conversation.
That's no other thing too.
There's some evidence right there. I mean, at least it's recorded, right? So you can say, this is him, and
Yeah,
we did the recording, and just like hide it or whatever the case may be. But where's your proof, Dylan?
exactly. So what do you think? It goes back to, let's go through these bullet points. What is true and what's not? You know, sounds like she helped with the plan, but was really
After the
after
murder.
the murder or at the 111-minute phone call. What I mean by that is, was the plan really after the murder? Meaning, he called her, got in touch with her, and said, "Okay, I need you to help me," and she came up with a plan, or was the planning at the 111-minute phone call? Because I think some of that's BS. I think it was planned out and it wasn't afterwards.
Right.
Was NK at the house that night or morning? When I say night, I mean really mean like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, or was she theoretically could have been there that night and just was close by, or maybe she was hiding in the house. Who knows? That's wicked speculation. But what I'm saying is, was she there? Like what
Mhm.
Chris is saying. Did she help at Survey 319? Remember, we did those 2 episodes, that one that really took off about Survey 319, showing that Chris had that hole dug ahead of time, or somebody had to help him.
Mhm.
This would correspond to that he had help, because you can't dig that hole, do all that stuff, and he was getting interrupted at the time. It doesn't make any sense. It's possible, but highly unlikely unless there was some pre-planning or help.
Mhm.
Looks like she's part of this. Will she be brought to justice? And that is the biggest question of them all. Sirach, you have the final thoughts.
Well, at this point, they're not going after NK for anything. So basically, I don't think she will be brought to justice. She just won't, because we really do not have the evidence, unless there's more evidence. This stuff Dylan put together, these series, doesn't hold up in court. Sorry.
Now, what happens, just theoretically, I don't know how it gets to this point. Let's say they go to Chris, they interview him, and say, hey, these books came out. And
Yeah.
is this stuff true? Yes. Would you be able to take a lie detector test? Yes. He takes a lie detector test. He confirms what's in these statements. That might be enough. And it depends how ticked off he gets. The more time that she's out and about and doing whatever, and he's in there, he might officially come out and turn on her and try to get a case. I don't know if he can, but
But then the
I don't know. I'm
question
not
is,
a
why did
legal
you wait
expert.
so long? And there's a whole bunch of like, oh yeah, you're doing for retaliation.
Yep.
That's going to be the
Oh,
key right there.
good point.
So
Yep.
even if he actually changed his, everything, it's still going to be kind of like, okay,
Uh-huh.
unless he kept some evidence. If he kept some evidence, like on those phones, like he saved it on a SD drive or something like
Oh,
that,
that's a good point.
that will definitely, yeah, then justice will be definitely served, because you got to keep that evidence. He probably was smart enough to do that. Who knows? Now we have so much high technology. People can record stuff, save it somewhere. We had a lot of cases like that.
I forgot. Sorry not to interrupt
Mm,
you, but because sometimes I get these cases confused.
mm.
I thought they have either her phone or his phone still in evidence, and I don't think they cracked it all the way. But that's a really good point. You got right into Chris and tell him, hey, listen, bro, if you, if you still got any evidence on there, just send it up and get NK,
Set
you
it up.
know.
'Cause
And
that's what you need right
but
now.
you know, this whole book smells of stuff because again, even if just a little bit of this true, it still shows that NK is involved and should be brought to justice. But besides all that, 100% this could be fictional. It could just been a book to make Chris look the best, deflecting that NK did the order to kill and she was the one in his head completely. And, he was like possessed and, all the stuff was like in her direction. She helped me. And, I was a really good father and Shanann's a bad person. Everybody's a bad person but Chris.
Yeah, good.
I gotta take a break from all that nonsense, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you guys let us know what you think.
Let us know.
We appreciate it. We'll do more. We don't do a lot of Chris. Oh my God, there's so much Chris stuff, Watt stuff out there. We only try to do stuff that's
Tons and
new.
tons.
I don't want to rehash the same old stuff. So when things new like this come out, we'll be there and we'll send it back to you.
Yep. Thank you. Studio 70.
Studio 70. We're out.